Tonight, how the snow has affected driving in eastern Washington.
And how the WSU dining halls deal with school closures.
Murrow News 8 starts now.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Good evening. I'm Noah Schmick.
And I'm Kayla Bautista. Welcome to Murrow News 8. This week, one storm after another hit the inland Northwest, dropping over a foot of snow with frigid temperatures. But this weekend gives us two new threats: ice and flooding. Pullman maintenance and operation crews have been working 24/7 to clear roadways, drains, and are putting up flood walls on Pine Street downtown to prepare for the river to flood, as the rain has worked its way into the forecast. If residents still have a wall of ice or clogged drains at the end of their driveway, Operations Superintendent suggests you call the office and or shovel out snow from drains or ditches near your home. Operations will start de-icing the roads starting around 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. Snow on the roads in eastern Washington made for some busy days this week for the Washington State Patrol. District 4 Public Information Officer Jeff Seveny tweeted yesterday saying that between noon on Monday to noon on Tuesday, there were 79 car crashes throughout eastern Washington. Drivers did do a little better on Tuesday and Wednesday, as there were only 42 reported crashes. Work by maintenance crews continues tonight to address roadways throughout the city of Pullman. The city says snowplows and grader operators will work most effectively if residents continue to use off-street parking. The city also acknowledged frustrations on Facebook about snow buildup blocking residential driveways by saying its snowplows are equipped with gates to help minimize the amount of snow along the roadways. But because of the amount of snow that has fallen in the past week, the gates are now ineffective.
While classes may be canceled, students on campus still need to eat. Joining us live from Hillside Cafe, Elijah Clayton has more on what options students have to eat.
Hey Noah, I'm right in the middle of the dinner here at Hillside Cafe, and the students are getting their last meal for the evening. As you know, we've been slammed with winter weather here in the Palouse. We've had rain all day, and with temperatures dropping below freezing tonight and for the rest of the week, it's going to create icy conditions for students here and on campus. And going anywhere can really be a risk, and so it limits their options. And so getting food anywhere off campus can be risky. There are 3 main dining halls on campus that service students. There are many students who depend on these dining halls as their primary source of food. With the snow and ice that we've been experiencing lately, it's hard for students to venture off campus, which makes it that much more important that these places stay open, even when the rest of the school is shut down. Now, the manager here at Hillside Cafe told me that these services are essential, so they do stay open during school closures, even when some markets and cafes close. And the workers here say it's hard for them to come in too when the conditions are so poor, but they understand that they may be some students' only option for food. Back to you at the desk.
That's Elijah Clayton reporting live from Hillside Cafe. Thanks, Elijah. There are 3 main dining halls that service students on campus. Students on campus depend on the dining halls as their primary source of food. With the snow and ice we have been expecting lately, it's harder for students to venture off campus, which makes it much more important that these places stay open. Many WSU students took to social media platforms criticizing the WSU administration for not closing school this week. Many of those students also questioned who exactly decides on whether or not the campus is delayed or closed. Here's what we found. Starting at 4:45 in the morning, representatives from WSU Facility Services, Public Safety, Emergency Management, and Transportation assess the weather conditions on campus and make a recommendation. The president and his policy group then review the recommendation and decide on a final verdict by 5 a.m. The process is short, but is made to accommodate those students and staff who need to be on campus before classes start. When we come back, what happens to people on SNAP food assistance when the government shuts down?
And one WSU department gets approval for underage students to drink when Murrow News 8 continues.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back. The federal government is open, but if it were to close again, what happens to people on SNAP food assistance? Kayla Bautista explains how this might impact the Pullman community.
It is unclear whether the government shutdown has caused resources on campus, such as Rosario's Place and the Trio Food Pantry, to run low on food. However, they have noticed more people needing food assistance since the beginning of the semester.
It used to be that we'd have a couple of people a week taking food, and now it's every day. And that's been true for a little while now. So since, mid-January, which is really not very long, we've run through a great deal of food.
When Rosario's Place is running low on food, Jennifer Murray says she worries those in need won't take food because others may need it more.
There's a lot of really great folks out there, and they don't want someone else to go hungry if they feel like, they'll be okay and someone else might not be.
Rosario's Place is not the only location on campus running low on food. The Trio Food Pantry also noticed more people coming in.
I have noticed more, like we get maybe 6 students coming in per day getting in food, and as I've come in here, I've noticed our food pantry getting down on food.
Both campus resource centers say they know it is hard for people to ask for help, but encourage people to do so. Kayla Bautista, Murrow News 8.
Moscow's City Council is proposing a 10-year bond worth $9.64 million on May 21st. Within the bond, the city wishes to repurpose the current police station, assist revitalizing downtown structures, and push to establish a new police headquarters at the end of South Main Street. The city's Finance Committee office said the bond is in perfect position to win a 2/3 majority by the council to proceed for the May vote. On Wednesday, ASWSU passed unanimously a resolution on transparency within the student government. Student Senator Aijane Hardwell said the resolution was to hold working groups accountable and ensure students see what we do. The demand for transparency started after student sit-ins last year. The resolution also incites WSU's Executive Policy 15 against discrimination and sexual misconduct. ASWSU leaders are reaching out to community equity and inclusive excellence resources to assure students a positive and inclusive environment.
An important bill passed for viticulture and enology students, allowing underage students to drink at wineries. This new legislation is an extension of a bill passed several years ago that allows minors in the major to taste wine in classes. Enrollment for viticulture and enology major has started to attract younger people, meaning there are more students under the age of 21 in classes where they are supposed to make and taste wine. Over 4 employees from Cougar Country have had enough with 2 bounce checks. This week, 2 employees told reporters they were quitting and have had it with their management stealing from them. Another employee said they have no trust in the system and just want to get back to work. The general manager of the restaurant cited last Friday the restaurant will not be able to purchase necessities or pay employees, which then prompted employee backlash and distrust in management. Cougar Country has been a staple in Pullman since 1973 and will pay workers with a loan as early as next week.
Next, I give you an update on this snowy weather, and Malou joins us to discuss our local sports updates.
When Murrow News 8 returns.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash? 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
Welcome back. Now, Noah, I was planning on going home for the 3-day weekend, but now I'm having second thoughts. What's the weather looking like? Do you think I'll be able to go home?
Well, Malou, Kayla, it's looking pretty bad. It's really snowy out right now, but it's not too bad. It's been raining all day. The snow is going to melt. It should be good. 37 degrees today has been our high temperature, and the low about 30. For tomorrow's forecast for you, 34 degrees with about 25 degrees as the low for tomorrow, with a likely chance of snow. As we look into the state map, over here, Olympia has about 34 degrees, and of course everybody else is going well. 5-day forecast. Also, it looks like snow is in the rest of the forecast. Malou, back to sports.
The Tri-Cities night with the Cougar football that's been scheduled for tomorrow has been postponed to March 24th due to inclement weather in Pullman and the Tri-Cities. After 2 upset wins against Arizona and Arizona State, WSU forward Robert Franks received yet another award yesterday. The senior basketball player was named the Oscar Robertson International Player of the Week. He averaged 32.5 points and 65% shooting on those 2 games. Franks is the only second Cougar to receive the Robertson's Award. He also picked up Pac-12 Player of the Week for his efforts. The WSU baseball team will open their season this Friday afternoon in the Bay Area against St. Martin's on a 4-game road trip. Under head coach Martin Lees, WSU has a 57-9-1 record since Lees took over in 2016.
Coming up, we'll give you all details on all things Valentine's.
Stay with us.
Are you feeling bitter this Valentine's Day? Well, making a small donation, you could have a cockroach named after your ex and feed it to a mink rat or a tamarin. Several zoos across the nation are offering this Valentine's Day deal as an early promotional event. Southern Oregon Wildlife Image and Rehabilitation and Education Center has taken things a bit further, offering you a chance to name a salmon after your ex before it's fed to one of their hungry bears. Thank you for watching, and good night, Pullman.